Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm Nick Williams, and you are watching Medicare and Coffee. And this, of course, is on the Medicare Pro TV Facebook page. But we also have MedicareProTV.com, and we have Medicare Pro TV YouTube and everything else. And today, I'm going to go right into an article about, let me just pull it up here. I'm in no hurry to get to the news, but I got nothing else for you, so I'm just going to go right to the news. This article, and again, for those of you that have not watched the Medicare and Coffee before, I go over the news. I talk about some things of interest. I try to focus on health-related things or Medicare-related items, and we are going to get more Medicare questions in, but we need your input. Yesterday, I had a question from a viewer, and that question was regarding Plan F and what's going to happen there. So I answered that, but I need questions. So you can send, go to the Medicare Pro TV Facebook page and just leave a message. Again, Medicare Pro TV Facebook page. And you just use that messenger thing and just send us a message. And I'll answer. I'll make sure in the next episode to answer your question, unless I get too many questions. I don't have that many viewers now to have too many questions. But so in this article, I'm going to bring this over. What you see here on your screen is an article about a government program that was interjected into Medicare. Now, what it says here is, and you can see it on your screen, Medicare currently covers a wide variety of medical supplies if they are medically necessary and prescribed by a physician. Historically, Medicare has paid for these supplies on the basis of fee schedules. There's a Medicare fee schedule, but several studies have found that Medicare was overpaying for certain items on those schedules. Surprise, surprise. They found that Medicare was overpaying for something. So they created the CBP. It's the competitive bidding program. Is being initiated to remedy these overpayments. Yeah, it sounds like something funky going on there, doesn't it? I smell a rat. Excuse me. I just burped. I hope you didn't hear that. Okay. By the way, good morning to you. And let's see here. I'm going to again read this section right here. The core idea behind the CBP is to use a bidding process to create a small number of high-volume, low-margin suppliers. So, okay, now we're going to have fewer suppliers, but give them more business. Again, it smells of a rat. By the way, let me tell you, the name of the article is it's something I can't get to it right now because I got this other thing on the screen. But it's about Medicare. Is Medicare killing seniors? That's what it says. So let me get the next item up here on the screen. Again, this is all from the same article. Okay, they implemented this program severely restricting where Medicare beneficiaries can purchase medical supplies. So again, the program, if you go back, I'm going to go back to this other one real quickly. The core idea behind the CBP is to use a bidding process to create a small number of high-volume, low-margin suppliers. So basically what they've said is, hey, we're going to get a couple people, a handful of companies, and we are going to give them a large amount of business, but they're going to pay us less. So here's how they remedied that initial issue of some items were being overcharged by creating a fee schedule to pay these suppliers, these medical suppliers, a lesser amount. Not what they should have been given, but even less. But giving them more people. So severely restricting where Medicare beneficiaries can purchase medical supplies Winning suppliers would be handed millions of new customers who are bound by law and regulations to purchase from them in return for a monopoly contract. Now, does this sound anything near responsible? There's Medicare does a lot of good things. They really do. And I think it's a great program, but this just stinks so far. Okay? I've already read this, so pretty much. So I know it stinks, but you're going to find out. In return for a monopoly contract. Okay. CMS plans are to reimburse the winners substantially less than allowed by the fee schedules. So they're going to be paid less than is allowed by Medicare under normal fee schedule. It is anticipated. Again, it is anticipated. We hope, that's what that means. We hope that the selected few could adapt the potential for increased market share by advertising, opening new locations to fill in geographic gaps left by unapproved suppliers. Geographic gaps. What this means is, okay, there's going to be gaps where there's not proper supply. So they're saying these other people could fill in those gaps. Listen how this reads. They could adapt to the potential for increased market share by advertising, opening new locations to fill in geographic gaps left by unapproved suppliers, or improving service, thereby increasing beneficiary access. Okay. All right. CMS also recognizes that alternatively, these bid winners may respond to lower prices by offering lower quality products. Wait a minute. CMS also recognizes that alternatively, these bid winners may respond to lower prices by offering lower quality products, delaying routine maintenance, or employing fewer service technicians and customer service representatives, thereby increasing the need for service calls, extended waiting times, and decreasing access. Did we just read this correctly? Oh my God. Oh. Just another program. Okay, let's see this one. And again, okay, no, not again. For starters, I just picked a random article, but there's a bunch of articles about this. So you can go through and fish these out. And I don't even pay attention other than verifying through through researching multiple sources. Do I give you this information? Unless I'm just scrolling through the news, reading off news articles. But this one, I have researched and did a comparative analysis, and it's consistent. It is consistent. So you could look at, well, who wrote the article? Maybe they're biased. Not in this case. The brief also notes that the authorizing statutes and other federal regulations combine to limit judicial and administrative oversight of the CBP, which again is the CBP, this new organization that was created, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if it's an organization, which restricts official safety monitoring of CBP by agencies and branches of the government other than CMS. What they do is they create these agencies that are untouchable. So, or these groups, or whatever you want to call them, they put them out of the reach of normal oversight. I'm telling you, this is ridiculous. So the bottom line is that this stuff ain't working. It's not working. It's just not working. So let me get me back up here. All right. Hold on a second. I'm going to get me back up here on the screen. Okay. So, you could say, well, that's just normal business. But what they've done is they've cut out suppliers by creating a bidding process, but not a normal bidding process where maybe efficiency would would be a priority and stuff like that, but just lower fees to these certain contractors that will limit their ability, as it states, by it will create coverage gaps, and the article does say it's killing seniors. And I'm going to move on. The CBP reminded me of the CBD. Do you know what CBD oil is? It's this whole thing that's blown up. There's CBD shops all over the place. I'm in Greenville, South Carolina. And we've got CBD signs like you ride down the road. Like, have you noticed they have these vape shops where people do these vape things? And I stopped smoking years ago, and I used that. It hurt my throat. I haven't been a smoker for a lot of years now. I would say 7, 8, 9 years. I smoked a few times when I would drink or something like that, but I've even cut that out. But when that occurred, they came up with all these vape shops, and now people are doing this vaping stuff, and then they have regulations for the vaping, and that's where they have a mechanical device that they have I guess it's a THC, not a THC, that's marijuana, some type of cigarette, supposedly the non-addictive components or the non-carcinogenic components of the tobacco, and they have an element that heats it up and vaporizes this oil, and then you smoke it in and you get that sensation of smoking a cigarette, and it does happen. You do get that. Oh my goodness. All right. So now this CBD stuff is taken off like that vape thing did. And they say it's like a miracle, like this miracle drug. And I'm going to go into that a little bit. But before I do, just to let you know how false things can be and how you cannot believe oftentimes what you see, hear, read, or whatever, I'm going to tell you about one particular item, and this is a factual item, and this is how the sugar industry shifted blame to fat. Now, I'm looking at my computer, and you can Google this yourself, the Harvard sugar scandal. And I'm looking at a New York Times article, The Verge article, and NPR. What happened was the sugar industry, well, I'll go to an article here. Let's see. The challenge claims that, all right. So 50 years ago, the sugar industry quietly paid scientists to point blame at fat. Okay, 50 years ago, the sugar industry, they created the Sugar Association. I'm not sure the exact name. I've known about this for years, read tons and tons of articles about this. But the sugar industry funded research that downplayed the risk of sugar and highlighted the hazards of fat. According to a newly published article in JAMA, which is JAMA. JAMA, I think that's the Journal for American Medical Association. Very, very legitimate. I mean, this is I won't say a governing body. I don't know exactly what it is, but it is one of the legitimate organizations for the, and it's certainly not a governing body because it's a journal, I believe, but they print factual data. Okay, this is very factual data. The article draws on internal documents that show that an industry called the Sugar Research Foundation wanted to refute concerns about sugar's possible role in heart disease. The Sugar Research Foundation then sponsored research by Harvard scientists that did just that. The result was published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 1967 with no disclosure of the sugar industry funding. So this happens all the time. The other day I saw where Coca-Cola was sponsoring, I don't know what organization it was, but it may have been the Diabetes Foundation or something like that. Their main sponsor was Coca-Cola. I mean, come on. That's crazy. That's crazy. Everything is crazy nowadays. But this happened, and here was the end result. I could read more of this, but I'm going to tell you what happened. The sugar industry sponsored these multi-million-dollar research studies of Harvard to give them the conclusion that they desired, the outcome that they desired. So what followed that was every time there was articles about sugar is deadly and bad and, that it will kill you, basically. It leads to diabetes or heart disease or whatever it was. They would refer, and these scientists at Harvard would put out letters refuting this. They were basically criminal, and not just criminal to the sense that they committed a crime, an individual assault. No, this was much worse. These people committed a crime on humanity. They did. They basically promoted the use of sugar to the point we have a diabetes epidemic. These people, and people think of Harvard as, this glorious college. Yeah, they've done a lot of good, but they have had such horrible, criminal people. And you can trace this to all the colleges. No, not all the colleges. I don't know why I even said that, because that's not true. But I'm also going to tell you about another criminal study that was put out by a college, and this was by an American scientist. His name was Ansel Keys. He started a study called the 7-Country Study, which examined the association between diet and cardiovascular disease in different countries. So in these different countries, what he had found out was, no. Let me tell you the problem first. I'm not going to tell you what he found out, because what he found out was a lie. The problem is that he intentionally left out countries where people eat a lot of fat but have little heart disease, such as Holland and Norway. He also left out countries where fat consumption is low but heart disease is high, such as Chile. Basically, he only used data from the countries that supported his theory, a process known as cherry picking. The flawed observational study gained massive media attention and had a major influence on dietary guidelines of the next few decades. So these liars who were paid off. Now they don't have to be paid off in money. They can be paid off in just having their theory substantiated or validated. So they go into a study with a hypothesis, and in this case, this Ansel Keys, this scientist, I say that it's like I say that in a tone of despicable disgust, but this scientist did this study that said that was only created to prove his hypothesis, his theory, what he assumed the outcome would be. And when it didn't come out, when it did not come, when the analysis did not prove his theory, he omitted data to prove so that he could validate his theory or his hypothesis. You cannot trust these people. So what the result was that between the Harvard criminals and Ansel Keys, and let me see something. Let me go back here. Oh boy. I forget what college, but he was at University of Minnesota. I do know that, but it doesn't look like the college was they don't list the college in the article. And you can look this up yourself. It's called the 7-Country Study. But if you just look up the study and read the study, you're not going to get the information. You look up the study and you'll see that, and again, look at it from different sources, not just, some like Looney Tune website that is like a conspiracy theory website. No, this is real stuff. So you need to look at it, like read multiple articles about this. Don't just read the study. The study is where the fraud exists. People are thinking that maybe I'm some type of conspiracy theorist. No, this happened. Harvard did do this. We do have a diabetes epidemic. Heart disease is out of control. People, this is real. And I'm saying this because I think it's very interesting. I think that seniors should know about it because you have a family perhaps and you need to tell people, hey, you need to back off that sugar. And you as a senior need to back off that sugar. I stopped eating sugar when I read about all this stuff several years back and immediately was much healthier. Immediately. I'm in the best health of my adult life. People say, I'm in the best health of my life. No, you're not in better health than when you were a kid. You can maybe go to the gym like at my age and lift more weight. You can do that. You can become stronger. You can, there's a lot of things you can do more. But you can't run faster. That's one thing I noticed. You cannot run faster. And if you try too hard, you might pull a muscle. But this stuff is real. There's also information where, if you recall, and again, I want to go back and if you look at the people that put out information on this, there's articles from the New York Times, from NPR. I read one article to you from The Hill, which I believe is more conservative. So I'm getting both sides. So this is not a conspiracy theory type thing. This is not politically motivated. These people were criminal. And what they did was, in essence, criminal. And again, a crime against humanity because they are responsible for millions and millions of deaths and disease, a chronic disease. Yes, Harvard is responsible as much as anybody else. And again, it's just despicable. It really is. And the thing is, they have such a glorious name that you want to put it in neon lights. It's like everybody wants their kid to go to Harvard, right? Oh, I have one more child left as a young child, and somebody's talking about her going to Harvard, and I was like, yeah, she's pretty smart. And I was like, well, that's a possibility, but I don't know if I want my child to go to Harvard. Those colleges they call them tailgate colleges now, and maybe not Harvard, but probably the same as any other. It's the party. They want to go tailgating all the time. That's what matters. It's like everything is about Friday night. So they were whooping it up. All right. So you go to this CBD oil stuff, and here is a Harvard article about CBD oil. Again, I don't know if this stuff is any good. But I do know that, just like marijuana, they say all of a sudden marijuana is the miracle cure. I'm not a marijuana smoker. I did when I was young, but it just doesn't work for me. But CBD oil, which is supposedly not potent with the THC that will get you high, but it's supposed to be fantastic for arthritis. I think I may get some. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some CBD oil because I got a little tightness in my hands, which is, I don't think it's arthritis. I think I believe I use too much salt. But anyhow, I'm going to get this, maybe I should just stop too much salt. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get the CBD oil, and then I'm going to let you know how it works. I got to find a place to get some good CBD oil. If anybody, a lot of people are selling it and stuff. If you have CBD oil or know where to get good CBD oil, it's like I feel like I'm like asking for an illicit drug, but this stuff is legal. Let me know. They got multi-level CBD oil things going, and they got, when I say multi-level marketing. They got CBD oil stores. They got CBD oil online. Walmart, no. I read where Walgreens is going to start selling CBD oil. Okay. It stands for cannabidiol. Cannabidiol. It is the second most prevalent of the active ingredients of marijuana. While CBD is an essential component of marijuana, it is derived directly from the hemp plant, which is a cousin of the marijuana plant. So it doesn't even necessarily come from the marijuana plant. While CBD is a component of marijuana, one of hundreds, it it by itself does not cause a high. So this isn't going to make you high. Everybody's like, oh, I don't want any of that then. According to a report from the World Health Organization, in humans, CBD exhibits no effects indicative of any abuse or dependence potential. There you go. That's a good thing. To date, there's no evidence of public health related problems associated with the use of pure CBD. All right. So it's all 50 states have legalized CBD. There you go. That's good. With varying degrees of restriction. And this is interesting. And while the federal government still considers CBD in the same class as marijuana, it doesn't habitually enforce against it. In December 2015, the FDA eased the regulatory requirements to allow researchers to conduct CBD trials. Currently, many people obtain CBD online without medical cause, medical cannabis. Oh boy. I know that word. I tie myself up. But you may obtain this without a medical cannabis license. The government's position on CBD is confusing and depends in part on whether CBD comes from hemp or marijuana. All right, so it's legal. It's been touted for a wide variety of health issues, but the strongest scientific evidence is for its effectiveness in treating some of the cruelest childhood epilepsy syndromes, such as Dravet syndrome and Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, which typically don't respond to anti-seizure medications. In numerous studies, CBD was able to reduce the number of seizures, and in some cases, it was able to stop them altogether. There you go. That's fantastic. But we go on. CBD is commonly used to address anxiety. So a lot of seniors, they suffer from anxiety. That might be something you want to check out. Heck, I get some anxiety once in a while. I'm too high strung, that's all. And for patients who suffer through the misery of insomnia, studies suggest that CBD may help with both falling asleep and staying asleep. So I'm going to get some of this. I'm not going to read any more of this, but they have studies here. The European Journal of Pain. They have lots of studies. So I'm going to check this out. People rave about this stuff. I don't know if it's any good. I'm going to end this. I don't have a question on Medicare, but I like to touch on Medicare each day. And in doing so, let's see, I got to get my screen right here before I can go on. Today, I'm going to discuss a lot of people going on Medicare. You have an opportunity. You can go, and this is just information for your general information. Some people, when they're turning 65, they have no idea what to do. If you go, and I use this Medicare and You book, if you go right here to page 5, it will tell you what your options are. This is when you turn 65. It'll tell you what your options are. This book has pretty much everything in it. And it is your book. And it is helpful. So I'll go through this book and show you some stuff. But it tells you right here that when you turn 65, you can do 3 things, actually. Every person has the option to do these 3 things. Pretty much every person. There's always exceptions. You can do nothing. Just go. The Medicare will send you. Will enroll you in Part A, and then you choose whether you want to be if you want Part B or not. You have to opt out of Part B if you don't want it. Then you have a choice to make. Okay, so I suggest, unless you have other benefits, which if you are concerned, you give me a call. Or go to MedicareProTV.com. You can get my information, or message me on Medicare Pro TV Facebook page. Just send me a message and I'll answer you. I'll get with you. If you can leave your phone number, I'll call you. But when you have this option, so you take Medicare Part B, then you have a choice to make. You can get a Medicare supplement, which you pay a monthly premium. and those premiums will go up every year thereafter. And then you have to get a drug card, or you go in what's called Medicare Advantage. And oftentimes these are zero premium plans. So you have a choice. And I tell you what, if you need to know what to do in that case, you just get with me and I'll help you out. Let's see, what else do I have here? Oh yes, I'm gonna wrap this up. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I want you to know that. I also want you to know that every day I'm not going to go over and drill down on these government studies or whatever. I'm pretty much more inclined to do uplifting things, but this is important information and it is about your health. Would you go to my Medicare Pro TV Facebook page and like it, like the page, like the videos, like the page, share it, get it to some of your friends. I would appreciate that. And with that said, I'm going to stop this presentation or this show for the day. I've enjoyed having you here. If you have a question, call me. I'm here to help, and I wish you a very good day.